excellent day for an exorcism.
Welcome to Just Another Horror Podcast.
I'm John. Fuck capitalism!
I'm Lindsay, trying to write horror novels because I was a weird kid.
M. The whole world is your urinal.
Fuck the prime time, bitch!
Hi, welcome to Just Another Horror Podcast. I'm John.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm M.
I'm glad you guys copy my tone. We are reviewing The Witch from 2016, not The Vivitch. Right, you were right. You're not even paying attention. But you're on your phone.
I'm looking
Oh,
up
you
the,
suck at this.
I'm looking up the page for the movie, man.
We got an email.
No.
It's from Daniel. People who listen to the show know who Daniel is. How are you guys doing? Saw your YouTube video about moving, so I went and followed you guys on the new Twitter and Instagram. Now, could everybody else do that, please?
Follow us.
I know you're all watching YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button, dude. Hit the bell. Right? The bell?
Yeah.
The bell? Okay.
For notifications.
That's right. Because we have 11 subscribers, but 200 of you freeloaders watched The Beast in Heat, you fucking weirdos. And, yeah. Anyway.
Keep calling them names and they'll definitely...
It worked last time. It will work again. Don't listen to podcasts as much as I used to since I don't really have the time, but I always do for your material. Love the latest Carrie review comparing the two films. Eager to see what you guys get into reviewing soon. So, cool.
Oh, thanks,
Good to hear
Daniel.
from you, dude.
Seems like a very nice guy.
He's awesome. He disappears and reappears all the time. Witch!
In 1630 New England, panic and despair envelops a farmer, his wife, and their children when youngest son Samuel suddenly vanishes. The family blames Thomason, the oldest daughter who was watching the boy at the time of his disappearance. With suspicion and paranoia mounting, twin siblings Mercy and Jonas suspect Thomason of witchcraft, testing the clan's faith, loyalty, and love to one another.
So it gets boring in the woods, I would assume, when the only people you hang out with is your family. And goats.
Oh my god, kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? I would have been like, just shoot me now. But don't let the dad do it, because he'll miss.
Right.
Oh my god, this dad. So, how familiar are you guys with A24?
The production company?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know they did this movie and our next movie.
Mm-hmm.
And several other movies that I've seen previews for that look good, but I don't know. And also, what was the other thing? The House of the Devil. Did they do was that A24?
No, that wasn't A24, right?
I'm not sure.
No, that wasn't. But Lighthouse was, by the same director, Robert Eggers.
Mm-hmm.
It's a divisive studio. Because some people don't think that these movies are actually horror movies. They think they're okay films, but they're too artsy for people.
Oh, A24 did Men, which we saw.
That was confusing. I don't know if we'll ever review that or not.
False Positive, which I loved.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Hereditary. In Fabric.
Midsummer, right?
Midsommar.
These are all movies that I love.
Yeah, these are good movies.
Life and Beth. Actually, we saw that. That was good.
Which one was that?
Remember that with Aubrey Plaza? She's a
I
zombie.
like her. She's fun.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these.
Yeah, just people either really love them or really hate them. They seem to be very divisive, but this...
I can see that.
I think this is one of their better efforts.
Yeah.
So, this and The Lighthouse and Hereditary, which someday we'll get to. So
Very soon, actually.
Yeah,
Hey! Alright!
2 episodes.
That's right.
And this was Robert Eggers' first film.
Oh, it's so good. This and The Lighthouse are amazing.
They are really good.
Is The Lighthouse also set in New England?
I don't know.
Because that's where he grew up.
Yeah.
Could be. It's an older movie too, like an older time movie. I mean.
Definitely.
So.
Okay.
I
I definitely like me some old timey talk.
don't.
Yeah,
Love
I'm
it.
not usually into the period
I
films,
love
but
it.
I liked this one though.
What I found, and I kept bringing up to her when we were watching it, was like if this was in modern English, it would just be a dysfunctional fucking family just saying the rudest things to each other. And we start off with them getting kicked out of their town because they're not following the exact right
Religion.
denomination
Yeah.
of Christianity.
Because they're Puritans, right? This family.
Mm.
And then I don't know what exactly the other people in that town were.
I have no idea.
I think it's a Puritan area, town, whatever.
They probably just like misinterpreted or interpreted differently one or two things, which is enough.
Didn't really go into detail about what the issue was, right? Or did it?
I literally have written down something about God dropping his testes on them. I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah, all it says on the Wikipedia page is they were banished from a Puritan colony over a religious dispute, and they are also Puritan, so...
Just one or two different things. This is why there's all these different denominations, so even if you're Christian, it's not good enough. You gotta be the right kind of Christian. Like, I remember when I went to a church, and this guy, I can't remember exactly which one it was, one of the ones that begins with a B, maybe?
Baptist,
something
That was
like
the only
that.
one I could think of.
But the guy was going on about, even if you go to church, and even if you pray to God, you're probably going to hell. In fact, everybody in this room is probably going to hell, so... But keep doing it anyway. And I was like, what's the point?
Well, I read that some of the dialogue actually came right from like old manuscripts and journals from that time.
Mm-hmm. There was some dispute as to if they were just mixing different times and languages, because there were some phrases that they didn't use back then, but for the most part it's authentic.
Mm-hmm. And this was like years before the Salem witch trials.
Yeah, this is saying set in 1630s, so I don't know what it is.
Were they like early 1700s, maybe? I'm not sure.
1692 to 1693. It was about a year and 3 months, it looks like. And there's a cool picture of like all these people standing around and lightning striking a woman, and there's a dude dead on the ground. Yeah!
Which came first?
And by the way, witches are fucking awesome.
I love
I
witches.
agree. You're not gonna scare me with some witch in the woods. They're having a fucking party.
This one was doing some creepy stuff though.
They did use a baby to... Yeah, it did use a baby in...
Baby blood.
Baby
guts.
blood. These guys are just superstitious, religious rubes living in the... I don't know how they got that house up with just them, but they set up a nice house and an unfinished barn. They mentioned trying to finish the barn later. Starts right away. Catherine has a baby, like, immediately. And we got
She's
5
she's pregnant when they get banished.
And so she hands Samuel to Thomas. And Samuel decides it'd be more fun to be eaten than to play this stupid, dumbass game with Thomason. So she wanders off into the woods to be
baby.
eaten. Okay, someone steals the baby.
I like the way they did that though with the peekaboo stuff. Although, did you think the way she was doing
It was a little aggressive.
I thought so. I'm like, I feel like the baby would be scared instead of laughing.
I think that's why I said what I said, because I was like, man, that baby's like, get me out of here. But then they use like the generic baby giggle that they use in every movie. So that was pretty funny.
It's still adorable. I'm mumbling again. It's still adorable.
There
though.
you go. Yeah, look at this thing and it'll tell you how loud you are.
I mumble. That's what I've been noticing is that I mumble.
It's hard to edit because the lines go like this. It's like a heartbeat.
I know.
I know, like most podcasts, they each have their own microphone, and that kind of helps.
I tried that once, and we picked up everyone on all 3 microphones.
Oh,
It did not work
It was
out
just
well.
echoed the whole.
Yeah,
right?
it just echoed everything.
I wonder
and
how do you do it right?
I think you have to have the microphone plugged into a headphone jack, which is plugged into a separate jack. It's I was just like, I'm gonna make a podcast. I can hit record. And here I am, doing the same shitty job 11 years later.
Hey, it's not shitty.
No.
Thanks, guys.
You do a really good job.
So if you put baby blood on a broomstick, you can fly.
Apparently.
That's an actual old folklore. Like, they believe that,
Really?
like, covering yourself in baby's blood, a witch can, like, achieve flight.
That's what the goddamn liberals do.
You need to get me
right
a
now.
baby.
Right?
I want to fly.
Glad you guys are coming around to violence towards babies.
I gotta buy a broom too.
That was a very creepy scene with the
It
witch and the
was.
baby.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
And the score in this
She was
is-
like,
I love the
butter.
score.
She was
Oh, yeah.
butter churning the baby.
Oh, yeah.
Like the score, like discordant sounds and just so ominous sounding. I liked
With
that.
the chorus going, yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, one of the problems with living by yourself and your family is that when you hit puberty, you might be attracted to your sister. And
Yeah,
that's,
that
that's
was weird too.
Did you catch that when he was looking at her chest?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does it a couple of times. That's why. So, I'm sure that was
But
a
he
big
has
problem.
nobody else around him either.
Exactly.
Like, these are the only people.
So, how frowned upon was this in the 1600s?
Like how frowned? What part of it. All of it.
Having incestuous feelings towards
Oh, yeah.
a sister.
Think about how they
didn't put two and two together. They weren't like, if we make everybody so they don't have any sex and we make them live alone with their families, we also expect them not to be attracted to the only women around in their lives.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And definitely don't, like, masturbate or touch yourself or anything like that. That would be, like, the devil. Like,
Oh my god, I would have been executed
look how much
immediately
incest
in that
goes on
place.
with, like, Amish. And, I mean, they have sort of similar beliefs in a way, right? Like,
they're
to the
very
Puritans.
religious. And, like, that's the problem, is that when you have these, like, extreme religious groups and everything is a sin and everything is a problem and everything is wrong, then there's no outlet, there's no, like, expression, there's no communication, there's no education, like, none of that stuff. And then you get, like, the Duggars, where freaking the brothers molesting all the sisters and the, like...
and priests. So,
yeah, all of that. I don't understand how they don't see that. That's the issue.
Oh, I know.
Control, I guess. The people at the top of these things usually get to do all the things that the people at the bottom don't.
Right.
So, and there's no consequences for them. The brother is more manly man than the dad is. The dad wants to seem like a manly man, but the brother is one. Like, he gets up early every morning, goes out and goes hunting and shit. Like, he wants to help.
Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb is awesome.
The dad can cut wood. Or
That
chop wood.
that is literally all he can
Yeah.
do.
He built those houses, or whatever.
I don't know how much of that he did by himself and how much the other people helped him, and that's why I was wondering, like, did he build that thing by himself? And then I was like, well, is that why the barn isn't finished? Because he's one of those dudes.
Why didn't he finish?
He's like a 1600s guy who doesn't, who starts a project and doesn't finish it, and he's like eating potato chips, like, I'll get to it next Tuesday. That seems like the kind of guy he'd be.
I mean,
am I being too hard on him?
he didn't stick out as, like, a character that really
He was useless.
had a
I think,
major...
like, he would thrive better in a town atmosphere instead of being out in the middle of nowhere having to, like, hunt and grow your own
He's the
food
guy
every
everybody
day.
has to rely on, and he's not capable of
Right.
being that guy. Yeah.
Okay.
So-
I don't know that I read that much into his character.
Oh.
I feel like the story was really driven by the mother and Thomason, and then I'd say Caleb.
I was more family dynamic, but I don't know. Great. Well, this podcast is ruined.
What?
The dad traded the silver cup for traps. Is that what he traded them for? God, this guy sucks. He just sucks. Like, he lets his daughter just get railroaded over this. Or, wait. Riggedy wrecked about this. I have dad letting Thomason get riggedy wrecked about this cup. He tells his son,
Yeah.
and then his son has to sit there and watch his dad not say anything. It's so fucked up.
I mean, he sort of defends the daughter. He's like, she said she didn't touch it. But he doesn't come out and tell the truth until later.
Right. While they go hunting, too, he goes to shoot a rabbit, and he ends up hitting himself in the face with a gun, because he's just bad at hunting.
Did you know, like, in old legends, witches can take the form of a hare? And so
Is
the
that what
hare
that
was
was about?
probably the witch.
Okay, that's why it
Yeah,
kept
I was
popping
thinking
up
that
everywhere.
the rabbits
So, I
were
mean,
witches.
probably nobody could have killed the rabbit, It probably had powers.
It's just the fact that the gun hit him in the face. It was like,
But I thought perhaps the hare, the witch, made that happen.
okay, that might be true. Then maybe I am being a little hard on this guy.
Well, and the rabbit. Sorry. The dog is barking constantly at the rabbit, and the rabbit's just sitting there.
Right, yeah.
Like a rabbit would be like.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a witch.
Okay, so if the witch is responsible for them not killing or not getting food, it's probably responsible for the crops not growing correctly too.
Right.
So there was also
And it just seems that they're cursed. And
that, yeah. There's also a theory that the corn had a disease in it.
Yes, arrogant.
Yeah, that would make people hallucinate.
Right, yeah. Because that has to do with LSD, too. Like, you can get that from arrogant. So
But-
it's possible that the whole time they were really just hallucinating and none of this was really real.
Possible, but there are things here and there that kind of make it so that it's probably a witch. Like, I feel like the filmmaker intends to do something and then other people look at it and try to make their own interpretations of it, but I think it's intended to be an evil witch. That's what's causing everything.
Oh, commune of evil
Oh,
witches.
a bunch of evil witches. That's right. So, and Black Phillip is the devil. What's the devil doing here?
Maybe the witches conjured him up, like, you know?
I hope he's not in charge of the witches.
Yeah, no.
It seemed almost like he could be, though. I
Does
don't
he
know.
recruit or is he in charge?
Okay, here's a question. Was Thomason, did she have the witchiness in her the whole time, or was it only after?
I feel like it was after she lost everyone in her family. What else was she gonna do? She's like, well, I'm just gonna try talking to Black Phillip now and see if he can turn me into a witch. I don't know.
Because he said, do you want, like, worldly goods? We're getting ahead of ourselves. But,
Right, yeah. That's...
But you want to know early on, is she a witch?
Yeah,
And I feel like
does
no.
she have that in her? Like, she seems completely innocent and, like, you know, the word obedient. You
She
know,
wants
like,
she wants to get the approval of her family.
Yeah.
So I don't think she's a witch in the
I
beginning.
don't think so either.
I don't think it's till she realizes that her family is not there for her.
Yeah, I mean, they all turned against her and were already accusing her of being a witch when she
And they were
wasn't.
gonna sell her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Yeah, I'd be a witch too.
This was her first movie, too, the Anya Taylor-Joy.
I've seen her in something else.
I've seen her in a couple things. I saw her in Marrowbone and in Last Night in Soho. Both of those were like...
I want to see that. Is it good?
It was good. I saw it in theaters, actually. It wasn't as good as this, but it was interesting.
Is that an A24 movie? I think
I'm not sure. It might be.
Caleb is a badass who wants to help. So after his dad fails to bring home food, and there's a funny scene where the two kids are screaming, and the wife is yelling at the husband, and the husband completely ignores her and starts yelling at the kids. And I'm like, this is just a dysfunctional family with
Right.
Old English. That's all this is.
Yep.
But Caleb steps in and he's like, it's my fault. I was out in the woods. I went out on my own. Like,
Looking for apples.
so it shows that he's willing to take the fall for people, but his dad isn't.
Right.
Is that why he threw up the apple? Because he lied about that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that why he threw up the apple?
probably.
The apple had one bite out of it, though.
Yeah.
The apple.
Because it was
that he-
probably like a poison apple, like from the witch. I don't know.
That could be. I mean, my guess is when he started making out with that witch, he passed out. And then
Yeah.
they brought him home and they're like, here, curse your family, have fun. So, also gross that a witch is making out with like
I
a
know,
12-year-old kid.
really.
I don't think he wanted to be there. He looked scared as shit.
I know, but it's like he couldn't help it. He kept going toward her anyway, even though he was terrified.
Well, she took the form
She
of a
was-
beautiful woman because
Right.
obviously he's, been looking at his sister, so.
Right, yeah.
Jeez, it
But
wouldn't
then you
take
see
much
her
then.
arm it turns
Yeah, I
into
know.
the old woman.
I
So,
wish I could do that.
Did that remind you at all of like The Shining when they go
oh,
into
yeah.
the bathroom?
That lady turns into the old woman.
Yeah.
That's what Jack Nicholson deserves.
Right.
Asshole. For a second there, I was on board with you. I have is Thomason setting all this up because everywhere she goes, someone dies or disappears or something. And if she had just stayed home, then when Caleb disappeared, they wouldn't have been like, "What did you do to him?" or anything like that. So she's just bad. Wrong
I think
place,
it was just
wrong time.
unfortunate for her.
Yeah.
Like I don't think she was doing anything bad.
But are they setting her up? Or like the witches
Very
setting her up?
possibly. Maybe they recognized something in her that they thought she could be one of them, and they were trying to like push her towards that.
That could be. And like Black Phillip is like trying to get anybody he can to be a witch, but he's talking to these kids and he's like, this is going
Right.
fucking nowhere.
Those kids are assholes.
They
yeah.
are.
Oh my god.
Chasing around that goat. And it was interesting, like, they must have come up with this whole, like, nursery rhyme kind of thing that they were singing about Black Phillip, right? That was kind of weird.
So the goat was talking to them, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the witches didn't go after Thomason. They got the baby, Caleb, and the twins.
Maybe because they wanted her
Yeah.
in their coven.
Plan?
They look for the kids. Thomason comes back, and the dad decides he's going to go out and look for Caleb. Meanwhile, the mother is pissed off at Thomason, so the dad finally admits that he stole the cup, which is just so fucked.
Well, and I understand this cup or whatever was like her father's, but like seriously, your family is starving. Like, people are going to die,
Yeah.
and you're still worried about this fucking cup.
Right.
Yeah, so, but you know, everything is a sin and lying is a sin and blah, 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 blah. Although having a desire for a personal possession would count as a sin, wouldn't it?
Well, she said that it wasn't for vanity or whatever, that she was concerned about the cup, that I don't know if it was just because it had, like, sentimental value to her. And she even mentioned that they could have sold it, but that's what he did anyway. He sell
traded it.
Well,
He
traded it. But I mean...
But she's more upset that he lied.
Right.
I think is what's going on. Like, very upset about it.
Because they are so religious that any kind of thing like that is just a huge deal to them.
She's pissed off this whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, she was having a nervous breakdown after Samuel disappeared, and Thomason was doing everything around the farm.
Yeah.
But then she's still yelling at Thomason when the twins aren't listening, and, like, it...
With that, it's because... I think she blames Thomason for the baby disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
Although, what are you gonna do, man? Like, at some point you gotta realize, like, she didn't hand the baby to a wolf or a witch. Like,
right.
It's an accident.
But then when she went out with Caleb, too, and he didn't come
At
back...
that point, that probably broke her.
Yeah.
And she admits later it's because the baby died that she's so fucking angry all the time.
Right.
So...
And then Thomason's the one that finds Caleb when he's back there, naked.
Right, he comes back and he's wobbling around and they bring him in and he's like sick and not talking. And they don't have any doctors. So I wrote down maybe he should try bleeding in a bucket. And the next thing I know, he's bleeding into a bucket.
That's working. Look, you're bleeding into a bucket.
Bloodletting
Yeah.
was anything that was wrong back then. They think if you just get rid of some blood and then you make new blood and then you'll be fine.
You could pass a baby under a horse, but they don't have a baby. Oh!
So at one point they're having bread for dinner, like a slice of bread,
Yeah.
each of them. Like, they're starving.
Right.
No wonder they're being assholes to each
They
other.
eat a little bit of bread each, and then they're like, we're gonna fast tomorrow. You're fasting right now, dude.
Yeah, right? And did you, like, everything around them was dead. Like,
Yep.
like in the fields,
Right,
everything was
yeah.
dead. Then, like, at one point there was, like, a dead bird in an egg. There was, like, just the trees, like, the whole place was just dead.
Yeah.
I know that they set up a house there, but didn't they notice how bad it was when they
Yeah, you
went
would
there?
think.
Like, go back to the town.
Does
man.
that go back to
But
the
they
dad's
wouldn't allow him to go
incompetence
back to
then?
the town.
It's his pride that he mentions later.
Mhm.
That's why he didn't want to go back to the town, because he's too prideful, and
Yeah.
whatever one or two things he's misinterpreting, he doesn't want to change, so...
So it's better to starve to death?
They want to die anyway. At one point they mentioned during one of their prayers that...
Yeah, like, take us as
Yeah.
soon as you can.
Yeah, I'm
We
sick of
want to-
this.
Like, wow, really? I've never heard people, like, praying for death.
Well, because they
Well,
think,
eternal life.
yeah, they think that's the goal. How you behave in this life, then the goal is, what happens after I.
Yeah.
Which is why religious people should not be in charge of anything involving mass numbers of people, like,
Right.
government. Because you can be like, I think it's time for the apocalypse. Beep. The goat is spraying blood, so
The
they
white
can't even
goat.
get any milk out of it
Yeah.
now. Just everything is just bad.
And the
then,
kids, like, accused Thomason of making that happen because they said she was a witch and she made the goat bleed.
Who was the first one who brought up the witch thing? Is that the twins?
The little girl.
Yeah.
Because she was like, they're like, I'm the witch of the woods. And she was just kind of playing around.
She did see the witch, and the witch talked to her, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So she brings that up, and then Thomason's like, no, I'm the witch.
Right.
Which...
Oh, the little Mercy said that she talked to the witch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm not.
Well, did she say she talked to her or that she just saw her in
She
her
talked
cloak?
to her.
Okay.
Yeah, she talked to her before she went back into the woods. So Thomason turns that around, which gets her into trouble later. So
Yeah.
by telling the little girl that she's a witch, the little girl tells them that she's a witch, and that she said she's a witch. And then Caleb goes fucking bananas, starts seizuring and talking to God and shit. But before that happens, the mom and the dad are talking to each other. And the mom mentions, like, getting ravaged by Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
And how no husband could ever match that. And I put, Jesus cuckold this dude. But also, you mentioned, she says something about not feeling that love again, and he's like, you can feel it when you're dead.
Mm-hmm. That's what he said.
What the fuck?
Oh my gosh.
These two are awesome. What a pair.
And then Caleb, when he's dying, he talks about, like, Jesus kissing him on the lips and everything, right? Like, that seemed a little strange.
It is strange. Similar to the pictures of Jesus where he's all ripped and everything.
Oh,
hanging on the
yeah.
cross, but he's got like abs and stuff. Weird. Just
It is weird.
He worked out because he knew it was going to be a photo op. Caleb starts freaking out, and they go to pray, and the two kids are like, Thomason told us she's a witch, and it's just like Salem, except the kids are telling the truth this time. Then they immediately start saying that she did something else, and I'm like, oh, now it's exactly like Salem, because they're lying. Mm-hmm. Terrific. And they start laying on the floor, pretending to be sick and shit.
Yeah, and they say that they can't remember the prayer.
Right.
Which I think is something that happens when people themselves have become, like, possessed or something, right? They can't remember. So, I don't know.
Do you think they were possessed?
They might have been, because of, perhaps, the devil,
Or
Black Phillip, maybe.
They were the
like,
ones talking to the goat and you know, couldn't stay put, so they had to be tied to the fence with ropes.
That was great.
Yeah.
Like, blame it on Thomason, but like, all of you people have issues. Sorry.
It's just a test that Jesus is making us go through.
Oh my God.
For fun.
But then I do have to say, also, that kind of stuff is stuff that could happen being poisoned by ergot.
That's true.
So
That possibility's still there. So Caleb starts going bananas here. Vomits up a whole apple. And then starts talking and like saying all kinds of weird shit. But by the end of it, he's real happy because Jesus is all kissing on him and shit. And yeah, it's getting hot. And then he just dies.
yeah.
He's happy about it,
He's
though.
like, yeah.
Which I was like, they should be happy their kid got to heaven, man. That's awesome. Instead, they're like, no.
I know. I remember thinking that. Like, you've been wanting him to, you know, meet Jesus this whole time, and he did. Like, you saw it.
Weren't you praying for
Aren't
death
you
for
happy?
all of you?
Yeah, like an hour ago, you were like, kill me, and then they do. No.
And I mean, he seemed like he was in like ecstasy as he
fuck
was
yeah.
dying.
That's how I want to go out, man. Jesus licking inside of my cheeks.
You're
Yeah.
gonna say licking your balls?
That'll be fine too. I'll take it.
And like they're blaming, like she's blaming the twins are blaming her, the parents are blaming her. And at one point I was like, all this trying to figure out who's evil. Your land sucks, you're starving, and you hate each other. Like, that's all it is. Nobody's evil.
But there is only evil and good. You know that. Come on,
Oh
man.
my God,
Come on.
no,
There's no gradients or anything like that. Her dad's trying to talk to... Thomason's dad's trying to talk to her. And Thomason lays it out like it is.
Finally.
She does not lie or make anything up. She tells the truth.
Yeah.
And because...
And she's been holding back this whole movie.
Because
That's what makes me think, like, she has been very...
patient.
Obedient, calm, like, no matter how much she got yelled at. I mean, besides, like, telling Mercy she was a witch and, like...
Right. But, I mean, she had her mother blaming her for all this stuff, and she's still just trying to please her mother. And...
Yeah, so when she goes off on her dad, I was like, finally!
Yeah.
But she's a woman.
Yeah, you can't do that shit when you got a vagina.
And I have to plug the Manly, Manly Man song. Do you know that song?
How's it go?
Hang on. I was ready.
Just sing it. Is that from Team America?
That's from the same guys, but yeah. She says all you can... Oh, I stopped taking notes after that.
Yeah,
Great.
me too. All done.
What happened? Are we just like,
Everybody dies. Everybody dies. And
I mean, that's
Thomason
true.
flips away.
Okay, I remember that's when he like boards up the barn and has her in there with the twins.
Okay,
and the
yeah.
goats.
So is he like, okay, whoever survives?
Yeah,
Is
I
the
don't know what
killer.
that was about. That was
That's a good one.
weird.
Yeah.
She's
Right.
like, "Don't do this. Like, you can't leave me in here with this goat. He's the devil."
Mm-hmm.
And then they have like the creepy witch shows up there and they're with them.
Before that happens, he does admit that this is all his fault, and he doesn't want his kids to die because it is his fault. And he's right.
Yeah.
See, I was like, okay, finally, he gets it. But it's too late.
Too late.
Yeah. Because he says to them when after he locks them in, he's like, we are going to go to town. Like, when this is over, we're going back to the town. So you guys are staying here so you don't kill anybody else, and we're going to go to town. But while he's sleeping, the mother has a dream about her son where the devil...
And Samuel.
I'm
Caleb
pretty
and
sure
Samuel.
the devil talks to her.
Yes, I think so.
Because she says, or he says something about, do you see a book in front of you?
Right.
So, but then some crows pecking at her nipple,
Yeah, that was weird.
She's hallucinating that it's Samuel, but it's a crow.
Yep. And a witch out in the shed. And it presumably kills the two kids, right? And just leaves.
What was she
Did
doing to
the
the
kids
goat?
actually die, or did they just disappear? Did she take them with her?
There was slaughtered shit everywhere.
Okay, I saw
didn't
slaughtered goats, but I didn't see the children laying there. So
I have no idea.
I didn't know if they just disappeared with her or if she did kill them.
She either killed them or took them.
Right,
Together,
yeah.
So.
But Thomason was just laying there fine.
Right, and the dad's like about to do something, but Black Phillip kicks the shit out of him.
Oh my god, that first hit, I was like, ooh, that was hard.
I like that he dies under his gigantic pile of wood, too.
Yes.
Very fitting.
That's perfect.
And then the mom comes out, of course, blaming Thomason for everything.
And she's the only one left, I
Yeah.
guess. So they beat the shit out of each other, and then Thomason kills her with a piece of
Dagger?
metal,
I don't know.
knife.
I thought it was a knife, but maybe it was just a piece of
She just
knife.
chops and chops and chops till she stops hitting her.
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't self-defense.
Yeah, she keeps telling her mom, like, I love you, stop it.
Yeah.
It's a bill hook. Kills her with a bill hook.
I mean,
In
it's like,
self-defense.
Yeah.
And
Right.
she's upset about it.
Yeah.
she didn't want to do that. It wasn't like she was an evil person at all. It's such a shame, like, her mother, like, she should realize, okay, this is my daughter, and she's all I have left now. Why am I going to blame her for everything? But, I mean, I guess I can see, like, she's the only one there. Everyone else is dead. It must be her.
Oh, yes.
It could be, too, that maybe the devil talked to her and was like, kill
Right,
anybody
yeah.
who's left, and then you get to see your kid again and shit.
Could be.
So, but I thought that the devil was bouncing from person to person, trying to get anybody to do anything.
Yeah.
And then finally Thomason was, I don't think Black Phillip talked to the dad at all.
No, I don't think so either.
But
I think-
everybody else ran into some version
Yeah.
of this. Yeah.
Did they? Did Caleb?
Well, you ran into the witches.
But they didn't try to, like...
No, they just cursed him and sent him back home.
Right. I feel like Thomason was the target
Was it
the whole time.
I thought the mom might have been, because she talked to the witch. Or the devil, sorry. She talked to the devil.
So I missed the book part. Like when she was...
It was when she was having her dream.
She was hallucinating, dreaming or whatever about Samuel and Caleb. What did they say about the book?
The devil was like, do you see the book in front of you? And, like, I don't know if she had to, like, sign something maybe in the book. Like,
Well, because that's what Thomason signed her name in the book, right?
Yeah.
But did the mom?
I don't know if she did. I think it was the Caleb's ghost that told her to sign the book in front of her. But that told me that it's the devil.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if she ever signed it or what. I don't know. Because it cuts to her getting pecked at. So.
Okay.
At any rate, Thomason's all that's left, and she finally gets some goddamn sleep, which must be awesome. Because it's been a long, long year, 2 years, I don't know. And then she decides she's going to talk to Black Phillip, because why the fuck not, man, at this point.
Yeah.
So, and hey, jackpot, she found the devil. Yes! Lucky. So, the devil's like, hey, you can have whatever you want, man. Cars, women, fame.
Cars.
Is that he says, like, talk
Buggies.
about want to live deliciously, something like that.
A nice dress. Like, you want a nice dress?
It sounds
It's a
nice.
It
The
must
taste
have been.
of butter.
It must have been really fucking easy to be the devil in the 1600s, man.
Yeah, right.
People don't really want much, so get souls for a stick of butter. It's great. So she signs it and then is off to the woods to go hang out with the other witches while they fly around, and she's so fucking happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. First time you see her happy in the whole movie.
Yeah, I don't blame her, man. That looks fun as fuck.
Yeah.
And I told you, like, I did watch this before, and I didn't remember a lot of details about it. I just remember thinking that it was a really happy ending.
I felt like it was.
Yeah.
I was really happy for her. I was like,
Right.
yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to kill some babies, you know, like it just happens. But look at you can fly.
She had to put up with so fucking much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That compared to her life so far,
Right, yeah.
take it.
And that is the witch. Ooh. Ooh. All right, this is your movie, so you go first.
This is my. Oh man,
Uh-huh.
see, for a while there, I was writing down the ratings, and now, God, I might. This end.
Wow!
I mean, it's like a 9 or a 10.
Is that good, huh?
This is definitely my kind of movie. For sure. Old-timey speak, witches, kids getting killed.
Yes! Yes!
Some good, strong female characters. I'm gonna give it a 10.
Wow,
Nice.
okay.
I like it. Lindsay?
I think I'm gonna say an 8. I mean, I really liked it. I think it was extremely well done. I'm not typically really into like the period kind of films, and I don't feel like if I would have watched it without subtitles, I would have gotten everything. But watching it with subtitles, that helped definitely. I really liked the like dreary, ominous atmosphere of the whole movie, like visually, and the score was amazing. The acting and directing, it was all really good. I'll say an 8.
I'm having trouble because I don't know what to criticize that wouldn't give it a perfect score, but maybe it's just my tastes.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'll give it...
Sometimes there's just an overall feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll give it a 9 because it's... the only reason I wouldn't give it a 10 is because I don't want to watch it all the time. It's more like a every now and then, maybe after a year, watch it again. Something like that. It needs time between it. It's not a repeat viewing kind of thing. I mean, you can watch it again, but I'm not saying like again and again and again.
Yeah.
So, other than that, everything about it's great. I love Robert Eggers. I guess he's only done 2 movies. Maybe he's done more, but the 2 I've seen.
I don't know if The Northman is out yet. That's one
Oh,
he's doing.
right.
And I think he's doing the new Nosferatu, or however you
Oh,
say that.
good.
Yeah.
Cool. That movie is 100 years old.
Wow.
I think it came out in 1922. So,
Wow.
cool. I like movies that take place in one place if they're done right.
Yeah.
That's why I like The Lighthouse in this. They take place in one area. You never leave that area. So, another good one is Pontypool.
I haven't seen that one.
Okay. Maybe someday down the line, but anything that takes place in a single place and is good at it, I like. Doesn't always work. But this did. So,
Yeah.
oh yeah. 9 out of 10, definitely. I can't believe we got a perfect score out of you.
Yeah, I've never given anything a perfect score. Sometimes I think I go on the low side with my ratings just because I'm like, well, there's always room for something better.
Improvement, yeah.
But I don't, because even looking back at like the old ones that I've rated, I've been like, I kind of wish I would have rated that a little bit higher, and I might end up feeling that way about this one too.
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't like to compare the movies to other movies because The Witch and Friday the 13th aren't the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
So if I give Friday the 13th like a 9 and I give The Witch a 9, it's for different reasons.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So,
Well, and you have to allow for your own taste too. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we're fine. This is a high recommend. That's the point. If you haven't seen
Yeah,
it, definitely check it out. A24, I think, is an excellent studio that churns out excellent movies. As we'll find out next week, even ones that have, like, ridiculous ideas end up being good.
Right.
So, alright, I'm gonna see how much of this I remember. If you want to get a hold of us, facebook.com/justanotherhorrorpodcast, and the email is justahorrorpodcast@gmail.com, and we are on YouTube.
Instagram? Is that what I'm doing? Or am I saying what?
Go ahead.
I mean, just another horror podcast on YouTube, and then on Instagram it is just a horror pod.
Okay.
And Twitter, just horror pod.
Okay. Yeah. So I just want everybody to know we are the people that each person that said it is the person that runs it. So if I say something like, I love Jason Takes Manhattan on Facebook, these guys don't like Jason Takes Manhattan. That's me.
I actually do.
Oh, all right.
I, surprisingly, have never seen it.
Send us out of here with
I'm
the
gonna say
tagline.
Okay, so now that I've seen how the guy actually said it,
Yes.
right? So he's got kind of the southern twang to it. So it's like, throw me.